U Sports on CBC, presented by les championnats U Sport à Radio-Canada. Une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox 40, Barraburn Medical Supplies, Les Bag Baron Rings, et par BMO, and by BMO.
And you're very welcome back, everybody, to U Sports on CBC and the 2024 BMO U Sports Women's Soccer Championship live from the Wickwire pitch in Halifax, Nova Scotia. My name is Desmond Thomas, joined alongside by Caitlin Clark as we get set to bring you this championship semi-final match between the second seed Laval Rouge et Or and the third seed Ottawa GGs as we are quickly back underway. A bit of an unorthodox start here, as the game yesterday between these two teams was suspended due to injury in the 57th minute. So that's where we will pick back up today. As you'll notice, there was no kickoff. The injury happened right in the goal crease of the GGs. And so we will start with a corner kick for Laval right off the hop. The score 0-0, and it's Poirier. Poirier crosses that to the top of the 6-yard box, and that will roll out along the far touchline. So it'll be a throw-in on the far side for Ottawa. These two teams vying for a spot in these championship finals. And on the far side, we see Maya Dussault, a substitute in for Ottawa. The match yesterday was a pretty tight checking affair. Neither team really wanted to give much to the other, and both teams quite stringent on defense.
Absolutely. I think Laval definitely a bit more defensive than the GGs, but it'll be interesting to see what the break, obviously quite an unorthodox way to start this game today. So it'll be interesting to see what the strategy is coming into today.
So back to the goalkeeper, Laroche. It's knocked forward by Donahue. Oriente is pickpocketed by Poirier. And here is Rousseau, the captain. That hits Oriente. And that will head out for a Laval throw-in. Both teams with fans in attendance today. And here is Rousseau. And a handball called there. Rosalie Robitaille. Or rather, no, that was the GG's player. I'm not quite sure who that was. But it will be a free kick here for the Rouge et Or. Poirier and Thibault lining up over top of the ball.
See the Laval players all running supposedly towards the back post there. Everyone's lined up on the far right. And obviously today's stakes a bit different. Whoever wins this is playing UBC in the final tomorrow.
So that will go out on the far side of the pitch. Yes, UBC and CBU played in a rather one-sided affair yesterday. And if it wasn't for the heroics of Ellie Lancaster in net for the Capers, the score could have been quite high in favor of the Thunderbirds. But in extra time, the Thunderbirds were able to seal the deal and book their ticket to the finals.
Yeah, it was a big effort by Lancaster. If you were watching yesterday, you heard that name a lot, and for good reason. There was at least 3, 4, 5 times that I think she kept the Capers in it. A bit of an unfortunate way for it to end for her, but UBC, I think, had to come out on top on that one.
Yes, definitely the stronger team in that affair. Lancaster was hung out to dry on a number of occasions, but here, the two teams vying for their opportunity to face the Thunderbirds in the final. A lot of wind here today in Halifax. It's a chilly day. The wind gusting, and we'll be going down from the left-hand side to the right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, and it's been a bit unpredictable, that wind as well. Directionally, it's been a couple different directions. It's really cold. The temperature is not more favorable than yesterday, even though it is a little earlier in the day. And so the girls are going to have to try and keep warm the best that they can to avoid any injuries.
Dlamini has that knocked away from her. Furland trying to gather the ball back up. Now stealing it on the far side is Laval. And that shot from distance will find the touchline. Fortier with a good pop in the game.
A bit more offensive than we were seeing yesterday from Laval. The GGs were a bit more dominant and forward-thinking, and so you have to think, what was the coach saying in between yesterday and today that's making Laval play a little more forward-minded?
There's Furland. She's watched by Fortier. Furland playing that up to the far side. Matsakubo. And St. Pierre will watch that out. So out for a throw-in for the Rouge et Or. St. Pierre. That looked like a handball as well, but no call here as Oriente has that ball knocked away from her, and now up the near side. Here comes Poirier. Poirier sending that long ball through, trying to connect with Gisso. And great defense from Smith. Knocks that away from Gisso. Now over to the far side is Grandin. Heavy pressure from Matsakubo. And Matsakubo forces a forward pass.
CBC is your home for exclusive cover of the Vanier Cup playoffs. Catch the 2024 UTEC and Mitchell Bowl Saturday, November 16th, and the 2024 Vanier Cup championship game from Richardson Stadium in Kingston on November 23rd. The kickoff is at 1 p.m. on CBC Television, CBC Gem, and cbcsports.ca. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made.
In the 64th minute here at Wickwire. This game yesterday suspended due to injury. And now picked back up in the 57th minute as we have a player down on the pitch in Fortier. A bit of a heavy collision as she hit the deck. She's up though. And back to her feet. So far, or rather, it will be La Chance to stand over the ball. Fortier at the top of the 18-yard box. La Chance serves the ball in. It's flicked along and cleared away by Provost.
A lot of great movement from Laval. If we can maybe just take a look at that last kick again, you'll see a lot of lateral movement in behind, really making the GG defenders work for it, which is really great for them on a kick like this.
We haven't had any action to the right of us here, as it's been all Laval through the first few minutes of this game. Furland playing that up, looking for Dlamini. Matsakubo tried to keep that in, but she wasn't able to. St. Pierre trying to connect on the far side with Gisso, or Grandin rather. And Matsakubo was dispossessed on the far touchline. She will maintain possession of the ball.
This is a great opportunity for the GGs to try and possess it in Laval's half. Hopefully they're able to pass it around a little bit and get themselves set, maybe build some confidence for this restart.
So now a throw in deep in the attacking third for the Ottawa GGs. Winning that challenge was Matsakubo. And now coming up to take this throw in is Maya Dussault. It's a heavy touch though, and it's sent out. And a throw in here for Laval. Cold day here in Halifax. Take a look at the bracket here.
So obviously, as we were saying earlier, UBC and CBU game, UBC came out on top. So whoever wins this game, Laval or the GGs, will move on tomorrow to play UBC in the final.
Everything on the line here in an unorthodox game. But still, so much to play for. Jusso with the throw-in. That's a Kubo. A good challenge along the deck by St. Pierre. And now up to Lessard. That will head out along the far touchline. Another throw-in coming up here for the Rouge et Or. St. Pierre. This game notably could have been 1-0 in the initial game that was played yesterday. And I believe it was St. Pierre after on the GGs. Eva Bouidi went down. She tweaked something in her knee and she was caught in a very vulnerable position right at the top of her 18-yard box. And one of the best displays of sportsmanship.
Yeah, we said it yesterday, and I was really, really impressed by the sportsmanship that was shown. 1-0 could be the score right now, but you know, it's bigger than the game today, that type of thinking. And I think that's the type of thing that you take with you beyond your career as a youth sports athlete, and it's something to be proud of.
And now down deep in the attacking half for Laval. They're down in the box for the Rouge et Or, but that is sent out. And you know, just speaking about plays being bigger than the game delayed because of the injury to Rosalie Cote yesterday. It was a pretty scary scene here in Halifax as Cote went down, and she was down along the turf for quite some time. She got the best aid that she possibly could have. Everybody here rushed to her side to give her medical support from both of the teams. Everybody collaborating on that, and she was taken by ambulance to the nearest hospital and is up and alert, doing well, and tuning into the game today. Sent a message to the players ahead of the game. So amazing to see that Rosalie Cote is up and doing well.
Yeah, that's got to be a big inspiration for the girls today. And it's not easy to play when your teammate is injured and when you're thinking, I mean, these girls spend so much time together. They traveled here together. This is their family. So it would be quite difficult to continue playing this game. But the fact that she is alert, that she's talking to the team, that she's supporting them, it's got to give them a push of motivation. And hopefully they're able to convert that into some real opportunities for them here.
Motivation will just be a win it for Rosalie.
Yeah.
Type mentality for the GGs. For Laval, though, it has to be all business. St. Pierre gets us back underway. Robitaille couldn't touch that ball down. And just a reminder, everybody, that coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern Time is our consolation final between the Trinity Western Spartans and the Nipissing Lakers. Tune in for that one at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And it looked like on the far side that Jocelyn was able to keep that ball in, but it does go out for a corner. So a big chance here for Poirier in the 70th minute of the game.
The wind here is definitely going to be a factor on these corners. It might be why they're lining up to potentially do a short one here. Either that or they're trying to draw the GG defenders out.
Poirier spins that in. Dlamini knocks it away, and then an excellent second effort there to knock the ball away by Oriente.
Great physical play back there, a bit necessary. If she would have got past the defender, that would have been a great opportunity.
St. Pierre will take the throw-in, being ushered to step back by the fourth official. Saint-Pierre gets us back underway. Grandin can't settle the ball down, and it's out to touch again.
As much as the Laval players have been getting forward, you'll also note how many of them get behind the ball. It's a great display of team defending right now with 1, 2, 3, I think 7 players behind the ball.
Now that ball high up in the midfield, hustling over for it is Oriente, and she touches it down. Up along the near touchline, but nobody there to receive it. As Gervais got dispossessed by Rousseau, and now lifting that forward is Laval. Smith knocked it forward. It's touchdown again by Lessard. Now Poirier spinning that to the middle. And it's cleared away by Frangioni. Now in the midfield, here's Girard. A long ball is knocked down by Furlan. And moving up the pitch is Gervais. Provost up there lurking as well. And now Matsukubo up the far side, surging forward for the Ottawa GGs. Matsukubo tries to cross that in. She got it past the first defender. Oriente now lurking in the box. Matsukubo on the ball. Oh, what a move there. Matsukubo along the touchline sends that in, and it's blocked. And will go out for the first corner in this installation of the game for the GGs. Excellent work by Matsukubo, working against Lachance. What a move there, Caitlin.
Yeah, beautiful piece of footwork, and does well to win the corner. This is going to be one of the GG's best chances so far of this resumption of the game.
It'll be Dlamini. On her right foot, she'll look to curl this one in towards goal. The wind in the GG's favor right now. Dlamini to the top of the 6-yard box. Rousseau got a header to it. Dlamini back into the fray. Gervais is there, and Oriente got that volley chance blocked at the top of the box. Now the counterattack very much on now for the Rouge AO. And excellent work by Donahue to gain body position and send the ball back.
Just point out how great Oriente's volley was on that. Obviously, it did get blocked by the Laval defender, but you can see why she is so influential on this team, obviously having scored a goal in the 5-0 victory that the GGs had over the University of Victoria the other day.
Now up the far side come the GGs again. Matsukubo. And coming back to defend was Lachance. Matsukubo still on the ball, and she drops it back. Now Donahue. A long ball to the top of the 18-yard box, and coming out to claim it is Laroche.
Just taking a look at the corner kick again. Great delivery into the box. Obviously the wind, like I said, playing a bit of a factor here, but does well to keep it in. And it's that connection right there that I'm quite impressed with by Oriente.
Oriente trying to touch that along for Provost. Knocked down by Dussault. Dussault still moving towards, and that's knocked away by Rousseau. Gervais on the ball, but that goes only as far as Rousseau, and played up along the near touchline for Fortier. Fortier surging towards the GG's goal. Fortier, and that attempt is blocked by Furland, who races after it to save the corner, and she does.
Here's a last attack from Laval. The GGs did really well to keep that from becoming a corner. So you can see the hustle from the defenders to just get back and then again keep it in.
Provost, great strength in the midfield, now sends a long ball up the far flank for Matsukubo. Hustles to keep it in, and she does. Oh no, the flag is raised and will be brought back. Matsukubo, great wheels up the far side, and it's a game of centimeters.
A lot of back and forth. Both teams really eager to get forward and doesn't look like either one wants it to go to extra time. They'd like to finish this in the 90.
Robitaille dispossessed Dlamini. Now Provost. Back to Donahue. Now for Brzezowski. Brzezowski a long ball. That's caught up by Rousseau, but she only plays that high up into the air. Brzezowski brings the ball down. Plays it to Provost. Dlamini now as Provost hit the deck. Now swung to the far side for Matsukubo. Matsukubo, a ball into the box, and there is Gervais. And that is stopped by Laroche.
Here's that last chance again. Really hard to get a foot on it from this angle, especially when it's before the near post. Does well to do whatever she can to try and redirect it, but at the end of the day, it just ends up in the keeper's hands.
So Laroche will get us back underway. A punt that's taken down neatly there by Lassard. And now battling for the ball is Robitaille. It's back with Girard. Now in the midfield. That's picked off. Excellent work by Brzezowski. Gervais trying to win the ball back, and it's up to the far side. And Laval's on it. Saint-Pierre up the far side of the pitch. And that will find the touchline. Here in the 78th minute of play here in Halifax. The score still 0-0. In this game that was suspended due to injury, we picked it back up today in the 57th minute. Here is Poirier. Poirier sizing up the goal. Now Rousseau. Rousseau trying to get away from Oriente, and she does. Rousseau forced to her left foot, tries to zip that in. And excellent pressure by Oriente.
We're reaching the 78th minute here, but it certainly doesn't feel like the 78th minute, that being because we just actually started. It takes a while to get into these games. There's phases through the games, and it's got to be weird, if not difficult, for these players to have the urgency that you normally would at this minute of the game.
That ball picks off of Lessard. And here's Dlamini. Donahue hustling up to keep the attack alive. Matsukubo trying to win the ball back on the far side. Saint-Pierre knocks it down, and now turning well with it is Girard. Smith, a bit of trouble with the ball there. And Dussault, or Robitaille rather, can't hold on to it. Now Donahue. Donahue back to Furland. And that goes out. Remember, if we end up scoreless as the 90th minute hits, we will, after I'm sure a few moments of added time, enter a 30-minute overtime frame. And if that doesn't settle it, we will find ourselves in penalty kicks.
The road to the Vanier Cup continues on Saturday, November 16th, when the Atlantic University Sports Champions square off against the Ontario University Athletics Yates Cup champions in the 2024 UTEC Bowl. Catch all of the action exclusively on CBC Gem beginning at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. The road to the Vanier Cup on U Sports on CBC, where champions are made.
Now the ball up to the far side. Provost try to get it ahead for Matsukubo. And that's sent out Dlamini on the throw-in. She's watched by Fortier. Dlamini back to Donahue. So plays that up the far side. And back underway. Matsukubo trying to battle for the ball.
Protest from the bench, as you can hear and see.
Excellent work by Dlamini, and got it through for Oriente! And she sends that over top of the bar. We'll take a look at that last chance here for the GGs.
Really great vision to get it over here. The right side has been kind of quiet, so I'm wondering if this will give a heads up to Laval to maybe be watching on the right a bit more.
Sun starting to shine down here at Wickwire. Smith now on the ball in the middle for Gervais. Battling for the ball was Fortier. And now Laval has control. Cut off in the midfield by Oriente. She tried to send that up for Gervais. And Lachance brings it down for Rousseau. Possession still with the Rougeards. That through ball looking for Poirier. Was knocked away. Lachance now. Heavy pressure from Provost. And Donahue brings it down on the far side. Who gets felled in the midfield. No call. Will play on here in Halifax. Oriente now. Trapped along the touchline. And she wins the throw-in against Rousseau. Oriente. We'll leave that ball for Gisot. Gisot surveying her options.
Gigi's could use a bit more movement here on the throw-in. Not a whole lot of options for her.
Gervais, all she can do is flick that along, and it comes back to the midfield. Fortier. And now here's Dlamini. Tried to play that to the far wing. It was intercepted. Girard. Now to the far side. Grands in. And brings it back. Saint-Pierre will reset. A bit of a risky pass. A bouncing ball. But La Roche did well. And it settled down here. Now up to Fortier. He's watched by Smith. And now Poirier. Poirier looking towards goal now. Crosses that into the top of the 18. Donahue heads that away. Wow. You see the wind picking up here, Caitlin. The wind and the sun. We'll see how that becomes a factor.
I'm certainly struggling with the sun, so I imagine the players are struggling as well. And like I said earlier, the wind unpredictable in the ways that it's blowing. It's not just one direction. When the ball gets up in the air, it's really hard to predict where it's going to end up.
Donahue a bit of trouble with that on the far side. That throw-in is flicked along by Brzezowski. That's a Kubo. Dlamini. And possession conceded again, but just as quickly taken away in the midfield. Gervais trying to hustle over, and Girard has it back. Thibault over to Lachance. That long ball. Donahue tries to intercept it. Brzezowski will see that ball out to touch.
Approaching the 84th minute here, and the play has been relatively back and forth. Not really indicative of the way that these teams' regular seasons went. Ottawa with 45 goals over 12 games, and Laval with only 17 goals over 14 games. Both are giving each other quite a run for their money. We'll see how this ends up in the next 6 minutes, but we may be going to extra time.
It's definitely looking that way now. Both teams not giving an inch, especially in the midfield. It's been a bit of a war zone there, but nothing coming from it. No real chances towards either of the goalkeepers. And now Gisot. She's watched by Poirier, and Rousseau takes the ball away. So back to Girard, and Girard will reset with La Roche. La Roche. A nice pass here for Thibault. Laurence Thibault plays the long ball, looking through. Smith knocks it away, and possession taken back. Here's Lessard. She'll play it back for Thibault. Thibault sizing up her options, in for Poirier. Poirier flicked off the ball by Dlamini, and now Oriente tries to surge back the other way for the GGs. She'll switch the field. It's intercepted. Matsukubo on the ball now. Matsukubo trying to get a step. What a challenge there by Saint-Pierre. And there is Lachance to clear the danger.
That was a necessary challenge by Saint-Pierre. Quite the opportunity.
huge chance for the GGs as they were threatening on the counter-attack. Ferland heads it down, grinds in, over to Fortier. And that will find the touchline.
Just going to watch back that defensive mindset from Laval, making sure that GGs can't get forward. Like I said, quite a necessary play.
Excellent work by Saint-Pierre. And Lachance again sends it out to touch. GG's throw in just inside their attacking half. Delamini. You can hear the Laval fans vocal in attendance here in Halifax. And we'll just remind everybody that our next game will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The Trinity Western Spartans taking on the Nipissing Lakers in that consolation final match here at Wickwire at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Ferland knocks the ball down. Rousseau. It's a tricky ball that Rousseau has to hustle over for. Here's the captain for Laval. She caught up to the ball, zips that ball into the box, and Ferland's there to clear the danger. Can't knock it too far away. Poirier. And then Smith able to clear it all the way out to the midfield. Now Rougier still in possession of the ball. Here is Fortier. Sliding challenge there from Lasalle. Possession still with Laval. Rousseau. She's watched by Dussault. Rousseau along the touchline, and that'll go out for a corner.
With only a couple minutes left before regular time's done, this might be one of Laval's last chances to convert into a goal. Could really make the difference for them, and again, buy them a ticket to that final tomorrow against UBC.
Coming up to take the corner, I believe Florence Thibault. The delivery into the 6-yard box, cleared away. Excellent work by Provost. Laval still in possession. Matsukubo hustling over to the far side. And now Saint-Pierre crosses that into the box. It's flicked along. And that header by Robitaille will find the touchline. What a chance in the dying moments of regulation time. We remain knotted at 0. Ferland up the far sideline, and that will go out.
Again, a lot of play happening on that left side. There hasn't been a whole lot of opportunity, especially for the GGs on this right side, but when they've got it over to this side, they have had some scoring opportunities, so they might want to look to see if they can switch the field just a little bit more.
Well, yes, and you see now that Matsukubo has moved all the way over to the near side, and Oriente has swapped spots with her, now occupying the left flank. But a long ball here now. Smith has to do good work to knock the ball away. Gervais. And now here is Brzezowski back to Ferland. And Ferland looking for Blamini Girard, trying to win the ball back, and she'll be called on the foul. As we are 10 seconds away from regulation time, Provost still on the ball, maintains possession, and sends it over to Oriente. But it's been some sloppy passes here in this game.
Yeah, the energy, the precision that was here yesterday, it's not quite to the level that we were seeing yesterday, or at least what we see here today. Obviously, there's a lot of factors for that, the weather, the wind, the injuries. We'll see if that changes with what looks like extra time.
Extra time definitely threatening as we have hit the full 90. There hasn't been much of any delays here.
No, I can't imagine there'll be a whole lot of added time, and seeing that we're already past the 90-minute mark, these teams might want to start thinking about what the next 30 minutes is going to look like, especially if they need to make subs or change any of their strategy.
And it's Dlamini now. That ball is intercepted. It comes back to the midfield. Smith, a soft pass for Brzezowski. A long ball. That evades Provost, but she gets the ball right back off a misclearance attempt. And I believe that was the full-time whistle.
End of our regular time.
I didn't hear it very loudly through the walls of the booth here, but yes, that will do it for full-time. An unorthodox 33 minutes of play gone here, and we will enter extra time. It'll be 2 halves of 15 minutes.
Yep, we're going to be looking at least 30 minutes. Extra time could be added onto that. It's not sudden death, so even if a team scores, we keep going. Not much of a break between those 15 minutes either, so when it starts, you're going to want to tune in for at least 30 minutes.
And what do you think about the strategies for these two teams? Do you think that they will look to play for the win in the extra time, or as we saw here? Well, we'll find out when we come back for 30 minutes of extra time before the GGs and the Hujiao kickoff here on CBC.
Nicotine addiction sneaks up on you. Beware.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
All the goals.
That is a worldie!
All the drama.
That is absolute chaos!
It all leads to this.
Are you kidding me?
The Canadian Premier League Final, Saturday at 3 Eastern.
How are your investments doing?
That was on purpose. You know that topic always throws me off.
Lots of people feel that way.
But don't worry, BMO's got advice to spare with any investment guidance and support you need.
I need some.
And you'll get it with personalized investing recommendations to help you feel confident in your decisions.
I'm curious. Do you roll as good as you help?
Bowling mode.
It's yes, by the way.
And you're very welcome back, everybody, to Halifax, the Wickwire pitch, and U Sports on CBC. And after a full, unorthodox 90 minutes of play, it's Laval and Ottawa knotted up at 0. As we'll take a look at some of the statistics from that full 90 minutes. The GGs.
Notably, these are the stats over the last 2 days of this 90 minutes, so not just what we saw, 4-1 favoring the GGs. Shots on goal, obviously, also favoring the GGs. Laval with quite a few corners that they weren't able to convert on. And then fouls relatively even, 9-6. Just taking a look at a couple of the highlights from the first 90. Here we have the GGs, or Laval rather, one of the better shots that they had in this extra continuation of the game today.
This was some great defending at the back from Smith. Lamini, as you see, the corner flag flapping. A lot of wind here at Wickwire. And an excellent clearance away. That was an excellent volley attempt from Oriente that was well blocked at the top of the 18. And that cross, not much Gervais could do with that ball. And Matsukubo, again, so much pace up the wings. And Lachance, who was excellent defensively, especially on display in these past 33 minutes. Herself and St. Pierre do such a great job at the back for Laval. It's been a bit of a stingy game. Neither team want to give up too much offensively, so most of the gameplay has been contained to the midfield. And so we'll see, as we were talking about before we went to break, whether you were thinking, Caitlin, that these teams are going to play for the win here in the 30 minutes of overtime or play for PKs.
Well, I might be a bit biased here because I always like to win a game in the regular course rather than PKs. I think it feels a lot better to win it in the regular course. And I think for these teams especially, neither look like they're sitting back too far. Both are going forwards. Like we said, a lot of back and forth in the midfield especially. I think both teams may be a little nervous of what the result will be if we do end up going to PKs.
Definitely so much on the line here. The seasons of these two teams hang in the balance. The winner of this team will move on to face the UBC Thunderbirds in the final on Sunday. And the loser will play for bronze. And the GGs will kick us off. Provost to Dlamini up the far side, and immediately possession is conceded, and Laval has the ball. Surging up is Matsukubo to try to win it back. Now on the far side is Poirier. Fed up that far side for Darchon, who draws in to the lineup as a substitute in this overtime frame. Now over the top, and that will be shielded well by Furland, as we see Emmanuel Collin on the pitch as well up front for Laval.
Jocelyn, maybe just a little hesitant to come out of her net there. I would have liked to see her step a bit forward, grab that up a bit quicker. If Laval was faster, they might have been able to get a touch on it and really challenge on that one.
Excellent touch there by Dlamini. And now a chance forward for the Ottawa GGs. Swung wide for Oriente. Oriente crosses that into the box, but nobody there in a white jersey. And that will head out for a throw-in.
Here's a look at this last play again. Just a nice cross into the box and almost wins the GG's a corner. Rolls out right before the flag. So it's a throw-in down by the corner flag.
Oriente tries to cross that back in.
And yep, that's offside. I wanted to call it, but I wasn't quite sure. I have to be careful on those throw-ins because there are no offsides off a throw-in, but there are certainly offsides immediately after a throw-in.
So here is Lachance. Ready to get us back underway here. As we're almost 2 minutes through this first 15-minute half of overtime. Dlamini, and stepping up on the play was St. Pierre to knock it away from her. Now, here is Darchin. She'll play that back for Fortier. Fortier, a nice ball, but it's picked off. Well done by Donahue, and now here's Oriente. Oriente covered well and picked off by Girard. And Darchin has the ball right back. It'll tick off for Furland. The flag stays down, so the ball did stay in play.
It looked a bit questionable there. It was a bit of a heavy touch, but I guess she does quite well to keep it in the field and keep play going.
Now Collin given away though. Gervais trying to surge that forward for the speedy Matsukubo, but that's a bit too much
for her. We've seen a lot of speed down there by Matsukubo on that side, so not a bad idea to try and get those balls in behind, but just a little too far for her on that one.
Oriente supplying great pressure, and Dlamini helps her out to win the ball back, and the GGs win a throw-in in their attacking third. Oriente, a ball into the box quickly. controlled by Laval.
Too quick. I don't know how many players she had up there. They could have maybe brought the defender up and had a few more numbers forward, but they get the opportunity to do it again here. So let's see what they can do with it.
Dlamini has that knocked away. Laval containing the pressure of the GGs and forcing them back towards their own half. Now to Brzezowski. Brzezowski into a bit of a crowd. Dlamini settles the ball down and will reset with Smith. Smith to the far side for Gisso. And now Gervais. She's watched by Girard. Gervais leaves that to the far side for Matsukubo. Matsukubo, she'll reset with Smith. Smith getting away from Fortier. And Smith brings it back to now Dlamini. And that gets knocked away by La Chance. And trying to play it forward was Fortier. Darchin now. So now Darchin, as the Laval Rougeois try to get those through balls going. And once again, it's cleared away, this time by Gisso. Laval will reset with Thibault. And Thibault over to Rousseau. A bit of heavy pressure there from Gervais. And now the Laval Rougeois will reset. Thought about switching the field, but again, they'll try to push up the far flank. Thibault, a long ball, looking for Collin. And the flag will go up. And Collin was offside.
Certainly close on that offside. Hard to tell which way that would have gone, but just a little too eager on the run.
Here in the 6th minute of the first 15 minutes of our overtime period. Ferland sends that ball up. It's headed down by St. Pierre. Nice touch by Oriente in the midfield as she surges forward. She gets felled by La Chance. And now a free kick coming up here for the GGs.
Not the first time that Oriente has taken it into the middle like that. Laval always quick to have at least one, sometimes two players on here. Watch how quickly she gets shut down by Laval with two players behind the ball. That's great work by Laval to cut off the pass, to cut off the angles, and make sure that she can't go forward, even though it did result in a foul here.
Dlamini, an excellent distributor. Look to send this ball in. Dlamini, a floating ball to the middle of the 18-yard box. It's cleared away by Fortier. Sent right back in. Smith flicks that along and kept in play once again, and Lessard knocks it out. Girard now to the far side for Rousseau. And that goes out off a GG's player. It will be a throw-in for the Rougeois. The 7th minute of play here in overtime. Ottawa and Laval still scoreless at Wickwire Field. Rousseau, now Girard. Girard fights off of a challenge. Donahue has to be careful here as the Laval Rougeois are pressing. Now Donahue can't hustle up to win the ball back. And here's Girard. St. Pierre. Girard back to Collin. Collin will reset with La Chance. Bit of a heavy touch there. And that goes off of Oriente. A good high line being held by the Ottawa GGs right now. Giving Laval much of an option to break through their back four. Now Laval will reset.
Laval showing a lot of composure in the back to be able to pass it around, especially again in the 98th minute of this game. It's allowing them to get forward and get these balls in behind. The GGs are going to have to put a little bit more pressure on them if they're going to want to force a turnover in that back line.
It is a corner though, as I believe that ticked off of Smith. And it will be another corner kick for Laval. Corner kick so dangerous. And They're in the best half right now for corner kicks as the wind is moving from the left to the right of your screen. And the delivery comes in. It's headed away by Provost, and Oriente swats that down the field. Matsukubo waiting for it, trying to get loose. Excellent work by St. Pierre to cut off her path. That ball is sent high into the 18-yard box, chopped at by Maya Smith. Brzezowski can't clear the line. And now back to the top of the 18. Swung to the far side. Collin can't get loose. And Dussault clears it up the line. Collin first to the ball. And Rousseau will reset with Thibault. Rousseau back into the midfield for Collin. And now turning with it is Darchin. Darchin eyeing up goal. Darchin with a strike. And that goes wide on the near side.
We'll be back at 3 p.m. Eastern for our next game, a consolation game between Trinity Western Spartans and the Nipissing Lakers.
Now in the midfield, Lamini back to Gervais and up the far side of the pitch. And once again, Matsukubo can't bring the ball down. They're asking a lot of her on the far side, Matsukubo. But they know that she is such a dangerous threat. Whenever she has the ball at her feet, they're desperate to get it to her.
Well, the speed that we've seen her demonstrate on that side certainly would be a player that I would be trying to get it to as well. She's really great at breaking down that back line, getting in behind. If the GGs are able to send a ball, thread it through that back line, Matsukubo certainly is someone to watch for.
Now it's Dussault as the GGs are deep in attacking territory. It comes to the top of the 18. Girard spills it for a moment. And it's cleared up the pitch. Swung to the near side. Collin dispossessed by Oriente. Nice sneaky pass there to pick out Donahue. And Donahue now a couple of moves and gains control of the ball. Dlamini trying to lift it over the top for Donahue. And out comes Laroche to claim the ball.
Not the worst idea there, but perhaps just a little too heavy on that through ball. When you're going straight at the net, you definitely have to weight that pass perfectly, or else the keeper's just there ready to snatch it back up.
Ball goes off of Donahue. Collin on the near side, waiting to receive it from St. Pierre. St. Pierre will go long. Darchin can't get first contact to it. Brzezowski has that ball tick off of her, and now Provost, a long ball in for Oriente, catching up to it, and reinforcements arriving now for the GGs as well as for Laval. And Rousseau is able to clear that from the top of the 18-yard box and away. Poirier. Another long ball now for the Rougeards. Great defensive positioning and a hustle from number 4 Donahue for the GGs.
Jocelyn was ready to grab that ball up, but GG's defender not willing to give it to her, not willing to risk that, just wants to clear it. Again, knows what's at stake. There's only about 3 minutes left of this first half of extra time. The winner of this game going on to the national final against UBC tomorrow.
A bit of a cool move there to knock it back behind her, but unfortunately nobody in a red jersey to receive the pass. Ferland now up the near side, and that will go out. Okay, waiting for her teammates to show for her. Got it right back from Fortier. Now that long ball is headed up by Smith. Ferland plays it up the pitch. Fortier now reset with Thibault. Rousseau now to Girard. Pressured now by Gervais and Oriente. That pass is picked off in the midfield by Oriente, and she resets with Smith, who sends a long ball up the far side again. Matsukubo trying to get loose, and she's able to catch up to this ball on the far flank. Watched by Rousseau. Matsukubo can't get past Rousseau, and she sends it up. It stays in play. Dussault Matsukubo, that takes off of Rousseau. And there is Poirier. Rousseau, great pressure though. Matsukubo, what a move away from Poirier. Matsukubo, that cross is blocked by Girard, who's laboring after the fact. A bit of better pressure now from the Ottawa GGs. Here's Brzezowski in the midfield, unmarked. Now the angle is closed. Brzezowski now for Oriente, takes that around Collin, and now she hits the deck, and Laval is able to retain possession. Collin on the near side here, waiting for a run, decides to reset with Saint-Pierre. Saint-Pierre, and that's a missed pass for Collin.
The GG is a bit more willing to get forward, but as you can see just from this last play, that gives Laval a couple opportunities for the counterattack. So they just need to make sure that they're very solid in their back line, that they're not giving opportunities to Laval if they want to keep this game 0-0.
Donahue wins the ball back for the GGs. She's been doing excellent work here, and now sends a through ball. Oriente trying to catch up to it, but doesn't have the pace at this point in the game. It'll be a throw-in for the GGs. Oriente will take. As we're nearing the whistle for our first half of overtime.
Again, not a whole lot of stoppages, so not going to be expecting a lot of extra time. And again, not a lot of time between those 15-minute halves. And yep, there's the whistle. Going to see a quick switch. They're going to switch sides. Going to play the last 15. And if there's no more action, then we are off to PKs. All right, just looking again at the bracket, this is what it's all about. UBC overtaking CBU yesterday. They're off to the national final tomorrow. The winner of this game, either Laval or GG's, will be playing UBC tomorrow. The loser off to the third place game against the CBU Capers also tomorrow. A lot on the line for both of these teams. It's been a long road to get here. It's been a long couple days of this game, and everyone is just vying for a ticket to that national final tomorrow.
So here we are, set to get back underway. The final 15 minutes of this championship semifinal game, spanning the course of 2 days, and we're back underway. The teams switching sides, Laval in red, the GG's in white, and that's quickly stolen by Gervais. Her shot is blocked in front, and it's taken back by Fortier-Lessard, rather. And now here's Thibault. Donahue now on the far side of the pitch. We'll try to swing to the near side, and now here's Oriente. Oriente swinging that to the far side, and there is Provost! Oh, what a save! The flag was up anyways, but Anne-Marie Laroche didn't know it at the time and came up huge for her team anyways.
Just going to take another look at that play. Finding Provost behind the line of defenders. Such a dangerous player to have back there. She led the OUA in goals. She's a fourth-year player. Could go on and on, but she is the GG's highest points and goal scorer of all time. So someone to watch out for, and don't want to give her that opportunity again.
That was nearly a chance for Fortier as the wind picks up and it starts to rain here in Halifax. It is not the nicest of circumstances for these players battling it out at Wickwire Field. Just under 15 minutes left to go in this game. As you can see with the corner flag there, gusting around. And now the wind should favor the GGs as it's blowing really downhill for them right now from the left to the right of your screen. Trying to hustle after the ball is Dussault, and she wins it back. Smith is able to keep it in along the touchline. She will reset with Jocelyn. So the flag is raised.
potentially an offside there, coming from an offside position. A bit tricky when it's this close to half, but you can see the ball rolling. You can see how heavy the wind is, not just at field level, but also up in the air.
Well, we're back underway with Thibault. Cleared away by Smith at the top of the box. Matsukubo trying to turn with the ball away from St. Pierre. Collin regains possession, but it's going to be a foul against St. Pierre. The GGs back in possession of the ball after the free kick. Furland will get us back underway as we hit 18 minutes of extra time.
Just looking around the field here, Laval has their bench warming up, wondering if that means that they're going to be making any subs anytime soon. The GGs seem pretty content to be sitting on their bench, but yeah, we might be seeing some subs from Laval coming in the next 10-20 minutes.
Well, we'll see who comes on if the coaches want their penalty takers to be on the field nearing the end of overtime.
Absolutely, and just getting them a little warm if that is what we're going to. And it certainly looks like that's what we'll be going to. So there's a great deal of strategy that the coaches are going to have to employ in the next little bit.
Touched back by Darchin. Now Rousseau, heavy pressure from Oriente. And that does go off of her. It'll be a throw-in for the Rougeards. Rousseau will leave that for Poirier. Poirier. Now hitting the deck is Lessard. Gervais called on the foul. Bit of pushing and shoving there, Caitlin.
Yeah, a little bit of anger coming in now. I don't think the ref saw that one. Certainly, if she did, I think deserves a talking to. Nothing too egregious yet, but maybe a sign of things to come in the next little bit.
So Florent Thibault will get us back underway off the free kick, as we've had 19 minutes and 30 seconds of overtime so far. Thibault with the delivery. Low to the top of the 18. That's cleared away. It'll come back to St. Pierre. And all she can do is send that ball out to touch. So the GGs will win the throw-in on the far side. Coming up to take it is Donahue. Donahue, as now the rain starts to turn to some form of snow and the sun starts to shine. We're getting all types of weather here at Wickwire Field. It's got its own little ecosystem.
I think we've checked every box on the type of weather that you can have during a soccer game right now. It can't be easy for the girls out there to be dealing with, again, the 110th minute of play as well as these conditions.
Oriente receives the ball well from Dlamini and now cuts back. Gains some time for her team. Now Dussault. Dussault, well done by Poirier to defend her. And it's sent out to touch. Well, there's been one constant with the weather. It's that it's been cold.
That's absolutely correct. This time of season, you can't expect much more, but I think it's even been a little colder than could have been expected for this time.
Now Darchin, as Laval is on the attack here. What a zippy ball to the far side. Collin now with a chance into the box, taken down. No call forthcoming from the referee as Donahue was back defending. Now here comes Matsukubo up the far side. Up to Dlamini. Dlamini touched forward for Matsukubo. We'll see if she can race onto it before Lachance gets there. And Lachance will try to shield it out to touch. Oh, look at that effort from, oh, look here. Oh, and taken down in the box was Matsukubo. What a run from Jenna Matsukubo, who got taken down by the goalkeeper, it seems. We'll take a look at it here, Caitlin.
Not once, but twice Matsukubo gets around the Laval defenders who are trying to watch this out. Maybe should be watching to see Matsukubo coming because she's obviously ready and willing to challenge for those balls.
The only alert defender there for Laval was the goalkeeper, La Roche, who came out in the nick of time to steal it away. from Matsukubo. Now back underway as Laval is pressing. Fortier caught up along the touchline. She'll win a throw-in. Saint-Pierre. Back to Collin. Provost. We'll send it up. Lessard now. And I believe that ticked off of Dlamini. Maybe a throw-in now for Laval. Just a reminder, everybody, our next game will be at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Trinity Western Spartans and the Nipissing Lakers in that consolation final game. 3 p.m. Eastern Time. There's, I believe, a foul called down in the GG's end. Smith. A long ball that's headed up by Lachance. And now Donahue. Donahue, well done as she was heavily pressured. Matsukubo, and she'll be called on the foul there. As Saint-Pierre there just needing to catch her breath for a moment. Looked like she might have got the wind knocked out of her. In the 24th minute here of overtime, we're still scoreless at Wickwire Field, Laval and Ottawa. Lachance will get us back underway. A long ball to the top. And that flicks off of Smith, I thought, but there was a foul called.
I think there was a foul, so it's going to be taken a bit higher up than a goal kick.
Provost chests that down for Dlamini. And that goes off of Collin. It'll be a throw-in for the GGs. Furland trying another long ball for Matsukubo. And that's a great header by Saint-Pierre to knock it out to touch.
Maybe taking a bit of advantage of the wind. Kind of floats in the air a bit further than it would be if you were going the other way. A great advantage for the GGs at the end of this extra time.
Matsukubo and Provost keeping Laval pinned in their own end, and now Gervais does the same. Gervais looks to cross this ball in high and to the back of the 18-yard box, but nobody there in the white jersey to connect with it as Oriente connects with that clearance attempt from Rousseau.
The GG is really getting pulled over to that left side. Not a whole lot of players in the box to receive those big crosses. If they want to be successful off of those, they might want to look at getting a second or even third player into the box.
Dlamini now to Gervais, swung to the far side for Matsukubo. Matsukubo has that shot blocked by Saint-Pierre. And now it's Donahue again. As the sun shines and the snow falls here at Wickwire. Fewer than 5 to go in this semi-final game. Swung through for Matsukubo. And that's a big moment as Florent Thibault was able to send it out to touch.
You certainly can't fault the efforts of Matsukubo. She's been all over that left side and in and behind. She'll definitely be key if the GGs are able to convert any of these chances into a goal.
Here is Dlamini as we hit the 26-minute mark here at Wickwire. As it's picked off on the far side, and here comes Laval. Darchin swung to the near side for Fortier. Poirier, rather. Oh, it got past and just tipped up into the air by Jocelyn. As that was a tricky shot for her. We'll take a look at it here. Excellent run by Darchin and a great cross into the middle, taken in stride by Poirier. And that shot knuckling a bit. And that's why it's so important to have your hands on the top of the ball.
Certainly not the most difficult shot, but you can see how important it is just to get shots on net, because at any time something like that can happen, and that really can be the difference maker.
Look out here. Laval pressing again. Poirier, her second chance in as many minutes. And that is blocked away.
So that's back-to-back chances for Laval. Just taking a look at this second one here. Great opportunity, and again, we're in the 27th minute, so anything that happens could decide the game.
Great block by Gisot, and now a corner kick for the Rougeards at Wickwire Field. As the precipitation has slowed, the wind still very much blowing. Alexis Poirier sends the ball into the top of the 18. Swung on and now cleared away by Oriente. Matsukubo, the lone attacker, up in the midfield. Dlamini tries to win it back away from Husso. Darchin, and it's sent back. And it'll be a throw-in for Laval back in their own half.
And here's some of those subs that we were talking about. The Laval team perhaps getting ready to go to PKs. They do have experience taking PKs in this tournament, having ousted Trinity 5-4 when they went to penalties after their 0-0 tie in regulation.
Here's Girard in the midfield. Laval trying to press for the game winner in the last few moments of this semifinal game. Here we are in overtime. And that clearance attempt from Dussault is blocked by Poirier. Again, she keeps it in. And that will go off of Dussault. But no, the corner is not awarded. And Laval fans and players very frustrated right now. So we'll have a substitution coming on to the field for the GGs. It's going to be Sabrina Mangia-Racina coming onto the field for the GGs, number 10, and leaving the pitch, I believe, Maya Dussault. Racina parked in the midfield, watching Girard closely. And that's sent up by Smith, looking for Matsukubo. Saint-Pierre off of Matsukubo and out to touch. Cleared away by Furland as far as Dlamini. And that long ball is played up. It'll fall well for Matsukubo. Matsukubo in the dying moments of the game here, trying to cross that in. Matsukubo! It's blocked in front, cleared away to the top of the 18, and finally punted out. Dlamini and can't control it. Poirier tries to knock it away. Furland and Dussault, who is still in the game, rather. She did not sub off. Dussault. And a little bit of a ping-pong action here with the ball as it refuses to settle down. Dlamini finally does. That will go off of Dlamini last. As we've hit 30 minutes of overtime. We'll take a look at that last chance for the GGs. Matsukubo so strong on her feet, but excellent defending from La Chance. Now Laval tries to get one more dash towards the GG's goal.
We're past our 30 minutes of regular time, so both teams now alive to the fact that PKs are on the table. That's why we've seen some subs here. This might be Laval's last chance.
And that's it. That'll do it for... for full time here in Halifax, and in this semi-final game we will go to penalties. The Rougeards and the Ottawa GGs will be headed to a penalty shootout here at Wickwire Field. So the Rougeards, we saw the substitutes warming up, but nobody came on, I don't think, for Laval. There was a substitute who came on for the GGs, Mangia-Racina.
Yeah, obviously both teams thinking about what their strategy would be going into PKs. Laval, again, have already gone to PKs in their game against Trinity, 5-4 in that matchup. And here's just some stats of this game. So shots on goal, pretty even, 4-4, or shot attempts, shots on goal, 1-1. Corners, Laval, again, wasn't able to convert any of their 9 corners compared to GG's 4 fouls, 11-9. A pretty even matchup as far as the stats go. Like I said earlier, I always like to see a game end in regular time, but where it has been so even, PKs are called for.
So the Laval Rougeards, the RSCQ champions, and the Ottawa GGs, the OUA champions, both vying for an opportunity to play the Canada West champions in the final. So,
and the defending national champions, UBC. If you look at the seasons, Ottawa went 11-1, Laval 6-3-5, but it hasn't really made much of a difference here today. Again, looking at those stats, it was quite even across the board. So PKs is the only way to settle this. Looking to play the Canada West champions, again, the defending national champions, UBC, the loser of this game going on to play CBU in the 3rd place game. That's happening tomorrow, both games here on CBC.
As we revisit the bracket here, this was an unorthodox game. We started it yesterday, but because of an extremely serious injury and a huge health scare for Rosalie Cote, who went down after she collided with the knee of her own goaltender. The game was delayed and then finally moved to today. So suspended due to injury is the formal way to put it. And we played 33 minutes of the remainder of the game today. Nothing settled that. 30 minutes of overtime, still scoreless, as both teams pressured a little bit more in the overtime period. There was a couple chances. There was that chance for Provost that was offside anyways. Goalkeeper Laroche came out and made a big save. She didn't know at the time that it was offside. Had to defend her net anyways. And for Laval, they've had their chances as well.
Yeah, quite a few corners that they were able to make something of, not quite a goal, but definitely some challenging spots for the GGs to be in. Again, Matsukubo on the left side making a lot of impact in behind, and now the only way to settle this game is PKs.
So in the PKs that involved the Cape Breton University Capers, there was a bit of a miscommunication after a save was made by the Capers goaltender Ellie Lancaster. The Capers thought they'd won the game off of that save, but the save was disallowed because Lancaster's foot came off the line before the ball was struck. So I believe the referee just making sure that both goalkeepers understand the rule. They need to have their feet on the line, 1 foot touching the line before the ball is struck.
That's right. Keepers are allowed to move side to side, but they can't come off the line forward until that ball is hit.
So it'll be Léa Jean Fortier up against Cassidy Jocelyn. Fortier. Scores! A perfect penalty into the bottom corner. Cassidy Jocelyn went the right way, and we'll take a look at it here.
This is exactly the type of composure you're looking for from your PK takers. Nice low on the ground into the corner.
Now coming up for the Ottawa GGs is Nibo Dlamini up against Anne-Marie Laroche. Dlamini. Scores! Identical penalty to the one that just happened seconds ago. And the GGs knot us up here in the penalty shootout.
Quite a lot of power behind this one. Even if the keeper was able to get to it, I don't know if she would have been able to stop it with the speed that went towards the bottom corner.
Rosalie Robitaille will come up to take the second PK for Laval. Robitaille up against the number 2 OUA All-Star Cassidy Jocelyn. Robitaille scores, sends Jocelyn the wrong way, and sends the ball into the back of the net.
It's an excellent performance we've seen all around from her, and just a clinical finish here. Reads the the goalie, knows which way she's going to go, and sends it into the back of the net.
And now here for the Ottawa GGs, Maya Smith, solid defender, all-Canadian, number 1 All-Star. Smith scores. Sends Laroche the wrong way again. And we're tied up at 2 in the shootout.
So far, this has been a master class in how to take PKs. Anyone watching would know how difficult this is to get it into either the corners like that.
Coming up to take the Laval Rouge Or third penalty is number 14, El Salazar. Lessard. Oh, it's missed. Past the far post. I'm not sure if Cassidy Jocelyn went the right way or not.
We're going to have to take another look.
No, she got a touch.
To see where this ball was heading. Either way, it was definitely close. It's hard to tell from that replay.
I don't think she got a touch. She went the right way. And now the GG's a chance to take the lead in the shootout. Mangiaracina. Mangiaracina, the late substitute. Scores! Right into the middle of the net. A wry smile after the fact. Mangiaracina gives the GG's a 3-2 lead.
Takes a lot of confidence to be able to read the goalkeeper like that, but at the end of the day, the result is there.
Now calmly up is the cool-headed defender, Meredith Saint-Pierre. Up against Cassidy Jocelyn. Saint-Pierre takes a breath. Saint-Pierre, and she scores. Another great penalty. We'll see it here. Jocelyn, not too sure about that one, just had to guess.
Yeah, Jocelyn went one way, the ball went the other. There's not much more to say about that, except for the fact that it's keeping Laval in it, putting the pressure on the GGs.
Hélène Gervais. Gervais, it's stopped by Anne-Marie Laroche. And we're once again tied in the shootout.
That's an incredibly important save to make here. That brings both teams even in this PK shootout. An amazing save, great read. Definitely hard to get those ones, especially to get down on the ground like that.
And coming up to take this crucial penalty is Megan Darchin. Megan Darchin up against Cassidy Jocelyn. Darchin, and she scores!
All of the pressure going to be on the GGs now. Being that fifth shooter is an interesting spot to be because sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes all of the pressure is on you, and that is the circumstance here today. The GGs have to score this one.
The GG's season and a chance for the gold medal hangs in the balance off the foot of Alana Oriente. Oriente against La Roche. Oriente, and it's missed! And Laval wins. They'll move on to the finals to face the UBC Thunderbirds. What a way to win it. And a huge upset as Laval takes down the OUA champs, the Ottawa GGs. The GGs will move on only as far as the bronze medal game.
There you can see Laval celebrating, but the GG is going to console their teammates. If there's one thing to be said about this game, it's the great amount of sportsmanship we've seen by both teams with injuries. I mean, Laval obviously having not taken advantage of that goal that they could have scored, and just seeing the teamsmanship between Laval, between the GGs, is one of the more impressive aspects of this game. And these are talented players, so that is saying a lot.
100%. Oriente was so solid.
Just looking again at the bracket again, we are all set. It's going to be UBC against Laval in the national final tomorrow. Obviously, the CBU Capers and the GGs will play for that third place spot again, happening tomorrow at Wickwire Field in Halifax.
Both games you're going to want to be sure to tune in for both. Still so much on the line, 3 medals up for grab. But of course, the one that everybody wants, the gold medal. GGs missed their chance, and Laval will go for gold. The Rougeards vont essayer pour la médaille d'or on Sunday tomorrow. Commiserations to the GGs who played an outstanding season.
Absolutely. This was an amazing season for the GGs, 11-1 in their regular season. It was their third consecutive OUA title, only having lost 1 game to U of T throughout their entire regular season. Quite the win for Laval to pull this off today. And although certainly the third place game is not where the GGs wanted to be headed tomorrow, not anything to scoff at what they've achieved this season.
No, 100%. And that bronze medal game, still a lot of prestige around it.
It's going to be quite the challenge coming up against CBU as well. Having watched that game yesterday between CBU and UBC, it was a highly competitive game. Both games are going to be very, very exciting tomorrow.
And just a reminder that we'll be back at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for our next match. The Trinity Western Spartans and the Nipissing Lakers in that consolation final game here at Wickwire. As we will now line up for the player of the game announcement. Couldn't quite hear who it was. We'll try to get a look at the number. Player of the game for Laval. Not sure. Sorry about that, folks. But if you're a fan at home, hopefully you can recognize her by her face.
Yeah, the bench jacket's making it difficult for us to figure out who these players are.
The speaker's not working too great at Wickwire today. And not sure about who the player of the game was for the GGs either. So once again, the final here at Wickwire, 0-0 after full time and the 90 minutes. And 4-3 on penalties as the Laval Rougeards advance to the finals. Our next game will be coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The consolation final, Trinity Western and the Nipissing Lakers. So on behalf of producer Ed Milligan, my partner here in Caitlin Clark, and our Universum Media crew here in Halifax, thank you so much for joining us. You've been watching U Sports on CBC, where champions are made.
U Sports on CBC, presented by les championnats U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox 40, Barraburn Medical Supplies, Les Bagues Baron Rings, et par BMO, and by BMO.